Hello everyone, welcome to today's class, and in today's video we discuss some points from the chapter solid state. So listen, this is the points from the textbook, that is can you recall firstly. So what are the three most common states of matter? Every student knows that the three most common states of matter, that is solid, liquid and gaseous state. These are the most common states of matter, and we are studying about mainly the solid state. So now next point, listen. How does solid state differ from the other two states? We know that the solid state is different from the liquid state and the gaseous states in respect to volume, shape, effect of temperature and pressure on these, and then motion of the constituent particles and the interparticles forces. And we know that in solid state the interparticle forces are strong. So now listen, next part, introduction about the solid state. As studied earlier, means in 11th class, the solid state of matter is characterized by strong interparticle forces of attraction. We know that in solid state the interparticle forces are very strong. So there is a strong solid state is characterized by strong interparticle forces of attraction, and due to the strong interparticle forces of attraction, the solids are hard and they have particular shape. As a result, most solids have definite shape and volume, and we know that most solids have definite shape and definite volume, which change only slightly with change in temperature and pressure. Means generally the shape and volume of the solid doesn't change, but they change with a slightly change in temperature and pressure. Means when temperature and pressure slightly changes, there may be change in the shape and volume of the solid. The smallest constituent particles of various solids are the solid contain various smallest constituent particles, and these particles are called atoms, ions and molecules. These particles may be called as atoms, ions and molecules, and all such smallest constituent particles of the solids will be referred to as particles in this chapter. Means all the constituent particles of the solid are referred to as particles in this chapter. Means they may be ions, atoms and molecules. So particularly they are called as the particles in this chapter. So now next listen, the types of the solids. There are mainly two types of solids, that is a crystalline solid and amorphous solid. Crystalline solid and amorphous solid. And we also know the examples in our day-to-day life, that is sugar. Sugar, common salt is an example of the crystalline solid. And amorphous solids like the Pond's powder, which we use on apply on our faces. So these are the amorphous solids. So there are various examples or we use various products in our day-to-day life of the crystalline solids and amorphous solids. Now listen, this is the activity, that is try this. So now see, the diagram is given here, and in the diagram the two type of particles are shown. That is particle number 1 and particle number 2. The blue colored circle indicate the particle 1, and pink colored circle indicate particle 2, and three lines are shown here, that is A, B, C, D and E, F, and these indicates the direction of particles. So now listen, observe the figure carefully. We have to observe the figure carefully, and the two type of circles in this figure represent two type of constituent particles of the solid. And these two type of circles, means blue circle and the pink colored circle, these two type of circles in this figure represents two type of constituent particles of the solid. As we know that there are the solid contain various constituent particles, and all the constituent particles of the solids are referred to as particles. So these two represents the constituent particles of the solid, maybe any two constituent particles of the solid. So now listen, first point, Will you call the arrangement of the particles in this solid regular or irregular? Means when we observe the diagram or when we observe the figure, what we uh, what we said about the arrangement of the particles, we know in the solid regular or irregular, and the answer is regular. Because when we observe the figure, we easily or clearly understand that the arrangement of the particles is regular. And now next point, listen. Is the arrangement of the constituent particles are same or different in directions? These all are the particles, and lines A, B, C, D and E, F also represent the direction of the particles. So the question is the arrangement of the constituent particles same or different? Means we have to answer the arrangement of particles is the same or different in the directions A, B, then C, D and E, F. And we clearly understand that the arrangement of the constituent particles is different in different directions. Means in AB the direction is different, in CD the direction or direction of arrangement of the constituent particles is different, then in the direction E of also the arrangement of the constituent particles different. So now listen next point, that is the firstly we study the properties of crystalline solid or characteristic properties of the crystalline solids. So now study of the many we know the well known examples are, that is granular sugar which we use in our day to day life, then common salt NaCl, also called table salt. These all are the examples of crystalline solids. So now listen, the study of many crystalline solid indicates that they possess the following characteristic properties. Means a crystalline solid possess the following crystalline properties, characteristic properties. So now listen, the property number 1, there is a regularity and periodicity in the arrangement of constituent particles. We already studied in the activity that the arrangement of the particles in the crystalline solids is regular. There is regularity in the and periodicity. Periodicity is observed, means after some interval there is a repetition or regularization in the constituent particles, arrangement of the constituent particles. So there is regularity and periodicity in the arrangement of constituent particles in the crystalline solid. We already studied in the above activity. So now the ordered arrangement of the particle extend over a long range. So now next point, that is second point. Crystalline solids have sharp melting points, that is they melt at a definite temperature. Among the two types of solids, that is crystalline solids and amorphous solid, crystalline solids have sharp melting point. What is the melting point? Melting point is the temperature at which solid states get converted into liquid state. When solid changes into liquid state, the temperature at which solid state converts it into liquid state, the temperature is called as the melting point of the particular solid. So crystalline solids have sharp melting point, that is they melt at a definite temperature. So now next point, the question can also be asked like why crystalline solids have sharp melting point. So now next point, that is all the crystalline substances except those having cubic structure, means all the crystalline substances except those having cubic structure are anisotropic. Means the crystalline substances are anisotropic except those having cubic structure. What is the meaning of anisotropic? In another word, their properties, means when the crystalline substances having properties like refractive index, thermal and electrical conductivity, etc. are different in different direction, then the property is called as then such a condition is called as the anisotropic condition, or the phenomenon is called as anisotropy. Means when the crystalline substances possessing properties like refractive index, thermal and electrical conductivity, etc. are different in different directions, then the then the terminology used for this is the anisotropic. So now next we see the examples of the crystalline solids like ice. Ice is an example of crystalline solids. Then salts like NaCl, also called table salt. Then metals such as sodium, then gold, copper, and these metals are also the examples of crystalline solids. Then copper, we also know the copper. Best the blue colored copper have, or the copper sulfate, that is also known as the blue vitriol, is also an example of the crystalline solids. Then materials such as diamond, everyone well known about the diamond. Then graphite, diamond and graphite are the allotropes of carbon. And then ceramics are the examples of crystalline solids. Now see the examples. The three pictures are shown here. First contain the granular sugar, then salt, that is then table salt, and then next is the blue colored crystal is shown here, and this is the blue vitriol. These all are the examples of an crystalline solids. So today we study about some concepts from the chapter solid state, that is. So today we discuss the some points from the chapter solid state, that is the types of the solids. Then the two types of the solids are given, that is crystalline solid and the amorphous solid. Then we study the activity, then the properties or characteristic properties of the crystalline solids, and the examples of crystalline solids. Next and further part we study in the next period.